Yesterday we started the other class doing advisory by students, and it was kind of a problem, so I want to kind of make sure you guys understand what the issues were, so that you guys, they don't get repeated. Okay, so first of all, my main job, and it's up there on our social contract, I must keep you safe. That is my number one priority. So if you're physically ever going to be injured or emotionally injured, I have to make sure that doesn't occur. Okay, so one of the groups went today, and they had no negative intentions, but how are people emotionally injured? Yeah. Through what? That's the main way? Teasing. Okay, so I'm going to explain what their activity was, and I had to stop. Ideally, I don't have to play a role at all. Ideally, I basically just sit to the side, and you guys can run it yourselves. Okay, but here was the activity. The activity was, and see in your head if you can think what I was thinking when I thought that. So their activity was, we're going to do a guessing game. It's called Match Me. And they created it. And they all sit in a circle, and one person goes to the center and acts out someone in the class. And then everyone else in the class has to guess who it is. And then the person who gets it right, and if you think it's yourself, then you step up and say, I think it's me. What could potentially go wrong with that situation? And I had to stop it. I couldn't even let it try it. I had to just stop it. Honestly. Right. What if someone reads over and says, "Hi, I'm really stupid." Now, what happens if they do that? They say, "Oh, it must be Uno." Well, now Uno feels bad. No, not Uno. It's Dong-hee. And then no, it's mostly Ricky. Okay. Oh no. I'm gonna beat you up because I'm a bully and a jerk, and I totally pick on kids all the time. Okay. So the problem is, there was just no way that was gonna end well. Okay, so, and I couldn't really even, there's sometimes you can try to make a mistake, you can give people a second chance. Why can I not even try it once? Ricky?
Well, no matter how good their intentions are, they can never be good because
what?
You don't get because it's obviously the person, they don't stand out because they do something good usually. They stand out because they do something
bad. A lot of times people stand out in a class because it's something negative they do. And even if that was a positive, could that be used against the person? So I started thinking in my head really quick and thinking, okay, what if they said, I'm really smart and I try really hard.
People that say, I thought I'm smart.
Right. So I was just looking at it, it's like it wasn't going to turn out well. Okay, so we quickly had to adapt and see how this was also not a good idea. Okay, so we quickly okay, let's say you act out a celebrity. You stand in the circle and act out a celebrity. And that did not work out at all.
What? Why?
Why not? What do you think occurred? Picture what occurred if I had you guys 20 people in a circle, and I called on Naomi. I want you to act out a celebrity. Hannah, act out a celebrity. Miles, act out a celebrity. Justin, act out a celebrity. So what if I started calling your names and I gave you a name and I said act it out? Can you guys picture what would have occurred knowing what you know about students? And what would occur? A lot of people didn't know the celebrity names, so there's a lot of people just staring at the person. A lot of
Maybe that one of the people got that celebrity and then the other person thinks that it doesn't fit that celebrity.
Right. So potentially you could criticize a celebrity, but picture what occurred in that group. And it might have been different in this group, so we called on people to act out the celebrities. And you would have guessed what happened with the people we called to act stuff out. Think about if I asked you right now to stand in the middle of the room right now and act out something. Ricky.
Well, first of all, you might have called on them and they didn't want to volunteer, so they might be on nervous and they might not even act out.
Right, so people their acting out was somebody did Thor and they went like this.
What?
It was I don't know what to do. Okay, so there's an issue of people didn't want to do it, they were nervous about doing it, they were embarrassed to do it. Two people said they just I can't do it, they sat down. What's the problem with the circle? What's the problem with acting out in the middle of a circle? Circle is not the right configuration for everything. Jen, what's the problem with circle? Everyone's eyes are always on you, and in fact, not just everyone's eyes are on you, but half of the group's eyes are on the back of you. And almost all of us, when our backs are turned to someone, you inevitably get insecure. Everyone. You wonder, are they looking at me? Are they talking behind my back? Are they making faces? So because there wasn't a huge amount of trust. Now, maybe if we all trusted each other, you could have done that. But it was very quick, there wasn't a lot of trust. Okay, that in our group. So think about, could you trust everyone if you turned around to their back, they would not do something behind your back? And I would say no. especially in this class, we have a culture of laughing at each other. There's a few people that like to laugh at each other. So that culture has kind of been created, where that's kind of what is done. So that's what okay. So that was the problem with today's. Yesterday's, there was also a problem. Okay, yesterday's we introduced the game, you know the game Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. Most people like the game, they know how to play it. But they just said, okay, first we're going to zoom over here, and then you can crash, and then you can go like this, boop, boop, bop. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Beep, beep. So, whenever you describe your game, you have to first, so I'm going to describe that Zoom game in a way it should have been described. Okay? And the person actually finally said, could someone describe it for me? And they called on someone to describe it. That's okay. They realized they weren't doing a good job describing it. So I'll describe that game again. Okay, this is a game where we're all going to stand in a circle, and we're going to have hand gestures. Okay, and we're also going to have to talk at the same time. Now these hand gestures move around the room. You don't move, but you point to different areas. And the goal is to not get out. And the way you get out is if you do the wrong hand gesture. Okay, the most basic hand gesture is just which way to go. So if you do zoom to the left, the person to the left of you does zoom, and they keep going to the left. If you do zoom to the right, and the person to the right of you does zoom, you go to the right. So if I did right now zoom to Kin, she would then do zoom to Jenna, Jenna would do zoom to Lana, Lana would then do zoom to Hannah, back to me, we do zoom this way. If I did zoom this way, it goes zoom to Hannah, then zoom to Lana, then zoom to Jenna. Okay, so it's kind of like Uno, if you ever played that game Uno. So the two ways I described it was one, I started, generally what are we doing? Then I described one of the steps, then I compared it to another game. What's the game I compared it to? Uno. How many of you played the game Uno before? So that helps out a lot of people. Now, I'm gradually adding a new step. Now, you can do zoom like this or zoom like this. But you can also add on another thing where you can make it reverse. And you say, And then that stops it and now goes the opposite direction. So if we're going zoom this way and I go, it goes this direction. If we're going zoom this way and I go, it goes that direction. There's another thing you can do. You can actually do what's called a car crash. Car crash, you would do this with your hands, and you would say crash. In that case, it skips. So if this person had a zoom, I say crash, it then skips this person and goes to the next person. Okay? There's another one you can do. Okay, and that is BB Bop. BB Bush. Okay, BB Bush. And you point to someone else around across the way. Or to anyone, just not the person next to you. Okay, so the way we're going to play, regardless of how you play for, is you can't do the person next to you. So what happened is people started making, what's another thing that was happening yesterday? The one person was talking and then like Pun disagreed with me. If you're in charge of the game, you basically say, no, you can't point to the person next to you. That's the game we're playing. Okay? So the rest of you now have to respect the person who's created the rules. Does that make sense? No. I'm just saying that in explaining it, instead of just saying, okay, we're going to go, okay, everybody stand up, we're going to do zoom left. Everyone's like, what's going on? So, in general, it's a standing game, a sitting game, it's a guessing game. Try to explain what it is first, and then you have people do what they need to do. Okay? Okay. So, for right now, Hun, Hun is the first person in this class, so it's challenging for Hun. He's the first person in this class to go. He's going by himself. He has only until 9:25, so he has 10 minutes. Okay? He's going to right now say miles like 7 times, but Miles already said I don't want to do it. So you can keep asking, but you just let it go. Okay, we're going to respect Pun as he tells us where to go. This is something that is quite stressful, so make sure that I don't have to step in at all. I will sit over there and watch. Okay, leave 2 minutes at the end, Pun. So around, when it says 25 on there, that's when you stop because you have 2 minutes extra. And that's when you want to reflect to say, how can we make it better for next time? What was good about it, how can we fix it?
Are we able to do it next time?
What's that? Yeah, there's a new group that does Wednesday, a group that does Thursday, and Friday. Okay. Now, the previous 2 of the other classes, we spent so much time because they weren't done well, talking about them. Ideally, this one's done well, and we don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it. Okay. Do you ever learn when things mess up?
Yeah.
That's actually when you learn the most. So the other class learned the most from the 2 that messed up. But ideally, it feels kind of cool if they don't mess up. So, Pi, you need to talk about arrangement of desks, you need to talk about how we're going to situate it, and then explain it what's roll set. On your own.
Move the desks inside the class. We have 18 chairs. 18 chairs into
That'd be super loud, super loud, super loud, super loud. Okay, stop right there. So, stop. At reflection, at the end, Pun will ask, how can we have improved it? Right then and there, what could have Pun done differently from a teaching standpoint? Hannah.
Maybe said it louder and explained it.
No, right now, stop right now, all your actions, when you stop moving. Once people start moving, you no longer have their attention. So, what is you wanted people to move their desks and you wanted, Justin? You could have told Skinner to do it before, but you said, let's move desks, and everyone started moving desks. And you said, and 18 chairs, please. So you need to say, okay, here's what we need to do. We don't move yet. We're going to move all the desks in the corner, and we need to have 18 chairs in the center. Okay, say that, Pun. Stop, Caleb.
Move the desk to the side of the classroom and 18 chairs. Be in 2 rows.
Okay, stop. Next thing you do is embed any questions.
Where?
No, ask that, Pun. Ask. Ask if anybody has any questions.
2 rows of 18 chairs. Right here. 2 rows of 18 chairs. Oh, nine.
Okay, so can we move now? Okay. Please do not bang your desk against the wall. It makes noise for the next class.
Wait, face you. Wait.
You guys have 9 chairs on each row.
Facing this way, right?
Yeah. You don't really need 18 guys. 2 rows.
2 rows, not 3
Yeah,
rows.
you don't need the rows. We don't need
How many people are in
We need 1 more. We need 1 more. No, we have 19, and one person can say this. The back one. Wait, we don't know.
Only have 8.
The rest.
Hey,
Hey, Wes, we need 1 more here. Oh wait, we got it.
You got it.
No, we got it. Wait,
No, you guys could just push that chair there and you can just put that there.
Guys, we already got one. Never mind. They can just Where do we sit?
Yes.
Can you tell us the line now? What if you kind of walk with everybody comes right now? So the game we're playing is Simon Says. Does anybody not know how to play Simon Says?
Okay, what's the problem with that question? What do most students do in a situation they're asked who doesn't know something?
Oh. People go like, why don't you know it?
Possibly.
Maybe if they don't know, then they're not going to raise their hand because they don't know. Because they're embarrassed if they don't know it.
So assume no one understands what you're talking about. So explain it.
So one person's gonna stand up here and call what you're supposed to do. If you say Simon Says, and then after that you do it. And if they don't say Simon Says before they tell you to do something, you can't do it. And if you mess it up, you're out.
Okay, so let's give him some feedback on what he can do right now to help improve. Louder, Kayla, knows what I'm saying. Okay, so she's going to speak. You're going to paraphrase her and repeat what she says.
What would you do when you're out? Where would you go when you're out? And maybe you might feel bad when they're out because they can't do it.
So repeat what she says so everyone hears it. So Kaylin asked.
After someone now, what do we do when we're out?
And also, Lana, you have your hand up while someone's talking. So put your hand down for now.
And if someone's going to feel sad if they're out. I guess you can watch other people after you're out. I guess to see if they're like.
Okay, louder, Pun.
Where do you go though? Just sit down in your chair. You can just sit down in your chair. Well, but then like what if just sit there. You don't really just sit there. Oh, that works. That's how you sit.
Repeat his question. No one can hear.
When I give you an example,
Okay, now before you start it, you have some rules to ensure that it's appropriate.
No teasing.
Right? What else? If the goal is to protect, what are some other rules you can come up with? Let's say protecting.
Yeah, no saying weird things when you're up here.
Okay, what is a weird thing?
Like,
Such as? Be specific, pun. What can you not do?
Simon's whack one person's head.
Okay, so one of the rules is you can't have physical contact with someone else. Okay?
And something that someone is not physically doing.
Yeah.
So Simon says, you push up.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's exactly like. Unless you have a film, she'll get started. It's only Simon says, so you could name Joey Start, or like, wait, Salmon says. I'll start. Okay. Everyone stand up. I just check that out. It comes with call people if they sit down. Simon says touch your ear. Simon says sit down. Simon says stand up. Simon says sit down. Simon says stand up. Sit down. No, I'll let that pass. Simon says turn around. This way? Oh, yeah. Face the other way. Turn around. That says sit down. Sit down.
Okay, so right now there's a pace issue, so you potentially go a little faster.
Yeah.
So can I replace you for a second?
Oh.
Okay, so Simon says stand up. Simon says put your hands down. Simon says wiggle your hands. Simon says touch your left elbow. Okay, Simon says touch your right elbow. I don't forget, I meant the left one. I meant the left one. Everybody touch the left one is out. Okay?
He said what? I know.
I meant the left one.
But in real life, I said, oh,
Okay, ready? Okay, so Simon says everyone's back in again. Simon says stand up. Simon says touch your hair. Simon says touch your nose. Simon says touch your lips. Simon says touch your shoulder. Touch the other shoulder, Okay, so that's the way the game goes. We're out of time. So, take a seat. And so, what can we do to ensure that our time is used most effectively in the future? This is just day one. Okay, Ricky. Right, make a quick game, and you could actually play it and get started and just get started and teach you along the way. That's fine too.
Don't ask any pointless questions.
Okay, and actually the questions are okay. It's so you be careful of that. Yeah, the question piece, a lot of it is you need to have all the answers prepared. You can go right away, everything. Like when you teach, you got to prepare for everything that possibly could run out, so you're never surprised. Even when you're surprised, you got to still be able to have a quick answer. Okay, because right now we had a lot of pause. Okay, last time. Who'd like to do it? You, Simon. Okay, Miles Foster, you're up.
Okay.
Want to take a seat?
Simon says rub your hair. Stop. Like half of you are out. Okay. Simon says stand up. Simon says stop touching your hair. Simon says touch your shoulder. Sit down. Simon says says stop touching your shoulder. Simon says jump. Sit down. Simon says touch your ear. Touch your other ear. You guys are good. Okay. Simon says stop touching your ear. Simon says sit. Get up again. Simon says get up again. Touch your shoulder. You
Can I give a suggestion?
Oh, that was really quick and efficient. Okay, so really, no, good suggestion. That was really... Okay, so, Simon says everyone sit down. Miles, we're taking Miles. Okay, so, what are the 4 things you know for when you plan your own one of these? What's the 4 things you now know that we will not do wrong the second time? First time, let's just make sure it's on our system. Anna?
So you gotta know how to answer them.
Okay, you got an answer, you have to prepare for what's going to happen. What am I doing when she talks? Paraphrasing it. On it. Okay, immediately explain what's appropriate and not. Have that planned out. So imagine I got up here, okay, when Simon says, however, your actions ought to be appropriate. Appropriate means no physical contact with anyone else, and no behaviors which will be demeaning to the person, no touching in private areas, or anything that's weird or inappropriate, or no doing things that's impossible. How long will it take me to explain?
2 seconds.
10 to 15
2
seconds.
seconds.
Okay. Okay, what else did you learn? Paraphrase, inappropriate right away, answers for everything. What was the thing I told Pun initially, the very beginning about movement? Move the desks.
Well, like,
Taylor?
tell them to not do it yet. Let's say all the instructions.
Right, what else? Taylor? Right. So you guys took 3 minutes to get the chairs ready, and then you guys took 4 minutes to talk, and all of a sudden like, hey, you got a minute left. Doggy?
Oh, this is a question.
Yep.
No, we're like,
Can we put more time? That's a very good question. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, is we're going to read the giver in a moment. No? Here, you do the answer to that question. Okay, so we're going to read the giver. Stop. Oh, I see why you did that. Okay. So, you're going to move your desks back to where they came from, and you're going to grab a book and sit down, but you're not grabbing a book and sitting down until the desks are all taken care of. Does that make sense? Sit down, please. Are there any questions on what you're doing? Okay, you're there in 30 seconds.
It's like
this one needs to be in
there's no popcorn in there.